So, this is not an easy video to make. This is a vlog, but it's also a reflection. I have lived today officially for 2 years in Germany, and I want to talk about whether or not the whole move was worth it, about what I've learned, about where I am now, and the pros and cons, and any advice I can give in the meanwhile to future mini me, to you guys, to myself. Again, not easy at all. So, last 2 years, I moved to Germany. I had a dream. I had a goal. I thought it'd be easy. I thought, fuck it, I'll learn the language. I don't even need to. I have the English language mastered on the lowest of the motherfucking keys. I'd get a job at Porsche. I'd make my money. I'd be happy. It'd be great. Once I moved, I ended up in East Germany. That means things were not as easy as I expected at all. The true Germany you see on TV, on YouTube, and where people live out their dreams is usually West Germany. That's where the money is. That's where Stuttgart and the Porsche factory is. That's where Bayern is. That's where Hamburg is, where I am now. That's where all the money moves and the people work actual jobs. East Germany is still in recovery. After the wall came down in Berlin, people have lost their lives completely. The elderly have no idea what they're doing, and the young ones are following suit. So moving there, as you can imagine, was not huge for me. I did not get a job in engineering instantly. I rather worked 1 year as a nurse for the elderly. That did teach me a lot, but it was not exactly what I wanted to do. After getting my driver's license and learning the language to a B2 level and somehow getting through that hellhole, I got a job in Winsenlohe, that is 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers from Hamburg. And I finally did that move to West Germany as I had promised myself. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money. Moving is not cheap here. And I learned that the hard way, especially now, since I'm moving from this apartment after tomorrow. We'll talk about that later. The job is great. I'm making good money, and my motivation is back to climb back up to that dream I had. But let's talk about the downsides. What I went through, what I got to see. First landing in Germany, first learning the language, and being in East Germany, I learned a lot about racism. I always thought I experienced it in Ukraine and Poland, but the level at which I experienced it here really opened my mind. It went from this childish idea of everyone hates me to this adult idea of everyone's problematic. The whole migrant situation is not easy to talk about. It's a necessary pain. It's a double-edged sword. Your job market grows and you have social security, benefits, money, but you also have overpopulation, you have culture wars, etc., etc. The effect that this country has had on me actually made me do a 180 in my own character. Being a person who accepted everything and everyone, I became a person who was afraid of myself being a migrant and had a distasteful opinion on others who were of the same origin as I. I had a sort of distaste for even Ukrainian refugees, Syrian refugees. These are my countries, and yet the media is no joke. They play this game where they fearmonger. And all I wanted to do was get out of that and somehow make myself better. So I learned the language as fast as I could. I got a job almost instantly, although it was not the one I wanted. And I was motivated by not being an outlier. I was motivated by not allowing Germans to even point a finger at me and say I'm a dirty migrant. Fact is, what I learned, you don't have to allow these things to get to you. What's important are your people. That means friends, that means family, that means loved ones. These people are 100 thousands of times more important than those bastards who will always find a reason to point you out and make you an outlier. Those who remain in obscurity, they remain clueless on what the situation actually is and would rather accept what Alice Wider says on TV and Elon Musk with his Sieg Heil on TV. The war is a horrible thing, and a lot of people have suffered from it. My girlfriend has suffered more than I can count. And thanks to her, I've learned a lot. I've learned not to be ignorant. I have learned to not care for the opinions of the citizens of this country. And again, my character did a whole 180 into now defending those who I once wanted to distance myself from. Thank God. But the move was still a necessity. Although I had gotten more comfortable there, I knew who my people were. My perspectives were no longer oriented on achieving my dreams, but rather fighting for the people I care of there. And unfortunately, that's not what life is about. Life is not about following every news outlet and making arguments against them and trying to make people see eye to eye to you. I'm not Malcolm X, right? I had a dream. They will open their eyes once they decide to make the change. If they do not, they do not. They die in cynicism. It is what it is. Moving here into West Germany, I noticed how much smaller the problem is. Yes, there is still a migrant issue. Yes, there is overpopulation, but the people who live here are a lot more hand in hand. I'm not sure what this has to do with. Maybe it's the lower amount of Russian propaganda. Maybe it's the fact that people make, on average, more money here and tend to not end up in the painful situations those in East Germany are in. But nonetheless, moving here was really the breathing room I needed. The dream of being a German engineer has come back to me. The motivation and inspiration was in my day-to-day life. I kept meeting engineers from France, from Sudan, from Africa, from every region, and they were just extremely inspirational. And I have gotten back on this racing horse that I do love. What moving did do on the negative side was made me lose this compounding effect we always talk about, me and Nick. I lost the day-to-day places I visit. I am kind of uncoordinated when I get back from work, not exactly sure where I want to go. Tomorrow's an event, tomorrow's Halloween, and I have no idea who to go out with, right? And so my screen time has gone up. I spend a lot more time on YouTube and in general just gaming because that is my comfort zone. And I think it's anyone's comfort zone once they move, since it's just an easy form of dopamine and you're not really missing out on anything. So that is something you have to watch out for when you move. This ultimate reset, because you have to really grab your own life by the shirt, by the collar, and pull it back up. Meet new people, go to new events, find things to do, tap into your inner child and what their hobbies were and try to make them a reality here. Now, the huge, big bonus of moving is that now I know where I want to stay the rest of my life, or at least for the next 10 years. It's here. There is a stability. There is a rent I can pay once I move out of this apartment. There's a job market that's actually valid for me, institutes where I can learn further. I can finally feed my mind without worrying about what's the next step, where am I going to move. I have broken this illusion of the grass is always greener. Germany, don't get me wrong, is a great country, but I could have made the same amount of money if had I stayed in Poland. It just would have taken some more time. So yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say. Moving teaches you a lot. It can also make you learn bad things. It can turn you for the worst. Your environment is sort of what forms you. Of course, you can choose how it forms you. But you have to generally control where you will be, just like your workplace, the city you're in, the people you're surrounded by is extremely important. Build, grow. 2 years have gone by, and I'm slowly making Germany my bitch. I think that's a fitting closing note. Thank you very much. Goodbye.